By Bookmakers review. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to all the content we have on the YouTube page, as well as check out Bookmakers review as well. Tons of great handicapping content for you over there as well. I am Jordan Sharp. Alongside me, as always, is Junior Browne. JB, I've been off for the holidays. It's been a little bit of a rough betting stretch for me. I think getting back on the show is going to get me back on the right foot, though. I've had some near misses. Yesterday, just a quick recap. I wasn't on the show, but I did have an official pick on BMR. Had Blazers team total, waited until Dame got ruled in, took it at the right number. They only had 53 points at halftime. I thought I was on the right track, and then the second half, just the Mavs just put their foot on them like they had been doing the first half. Also, I would be remiss if I did not mention that John Morant needs to be put in the MVP discussion. I don't know if I've said that on this show, but now I officially have, if I have not. Just insanely good, and that whole game yesterday was amazing. There were many moments of which that I jumped off of my couch, not just the end of it. I mean, Desmond Bane had me off my couch the entire night. I saw Killian Tilly posterize Jalen Smith. How you doing? Welcome to the league. That game was amazing yesterday, and I also opened a position on Desmond Bane to be the most improved player. I know I talked about my MIP bets. So I'm hoping to cash a 5-figure payout when Desmond Bane wins most improved player. Because I got him at 50-1. Have no idea why he was still sitting there at the book that I took him at, but I'm thinking he's probably going to be less than that here pretty soon if he keeps playing like he is. But tough couple days for me handicapping wise. Got another play here today that I'm feeling really good about, so I'm hoping to get back on track tonight. How's your Christmas? How was your holiday weekend, my guy? How'd you end up yesterday?
Yeah, so during the holidays, I didn't bet as much as I normally do. Just I got a lot of family in town. My brothers are all in town. My sisters. We've been sipping. A lot of sipping going on this side. I did make a Christmas Day bet though. Some of the easiest money I ever made with the Nets beating the Lakers. Hopped on the Nets last night live, but super early though. I actually didn't even really love the line that I got, but listen, bro. The rest of the league better start paying attention to the fact that the real James Harden is starting to show up. And if that happens, all of a sudden Brooklyn are a championship contender because my boy Kyrie's back in town. So watch out for them Nets because they could be making their run. Yesterday, I had 2 picks. I had the Bulls full game and first half. I got the first half line at 2.5. I swear to God, I wish I could have betted more. I actually made myself chill because I took the Bulls at 6. I took them at 5.5. I took them at 6 at first, then it went down to 5.5. So I bet both of those because you know that magic number of 6. Anything at 6 and under, I was going heavy on that. Then I got them first half 2.5. So I was like, let me just chill a little bit, but. They're just good. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan have something special going on. When 2 guys that are that good can coexist and not get in each other's way and have no jealousy, it seems like, and just do their thing. The ceiling's pretty high on this Bulls team. Obviously, they're going to have to do it in the playoffs. But as a regular season team, as an ATS team, I love Chicago right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Jordan. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that they have pulled off possibly one of the quickest rebuilds from perpetual lottery team post the kind of Derrick Rose injury years. And when they finally got rid of Gar Forman and John Paxson, and look what happens. 2 years later, they're a freaking title contender after they've been playing basically a lottery team. With Zach LaVine having a 35% usage rate. The front office deserves a ton of credit for putting this team together because they just mesh well. You can tell when teams just mesh well and they all kind of know their role and play their role to perfection on most nights. And on top of that, Billy Donovan, I think also, he wasn't coaching last night, I think, but I mean, that deserves a ton of credit too for this Bulls team, man. Can't speak highly enough about these Bulls. But yeah, I'm sorry I interrupted you, man. You got anything else to say about yesterday before we move on? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I haven't done that in a while. Yeah, That's what stood out to me yesterday. If you're ready to go, bro, let's get into today's slate. That's what the people are here for. Let's do this.
Yep, let's get it going. We got the first game here on deck, going a little out of order time-wise, but that's all right. So we made some last-second changes. We got the Lakers on the road in Houston. Don't know Houston's injury situation just yet. I'm going to kick it over to you for just this one, because the only thing I'm looking for in this one, after we know what Houston's injury situation is, I'm probably going to be trying to target some of these younger guys' props here tonight, because at home, Lakers coming to town. I know Anthony Davis isn't going to play, but LeBron's still there. He's obviously the biggest draw in the league still. A town like Houston's going to come out to see him tonight. So the building probably going to have a little extra juice than your average Rockets game. And this being one of the bigger home games of some of these young guys' careers, it's possible that some of them have a pretty good prop value tonight, either on points or points, rebounds, and assists or something like that. Maybe even turnovers. Maybe they're a little too excited tonight. Bet some overs on some turnovers here tonight, but haven't seen anything yet, so I got to know who's in, who's out on their side of things before I get into that. But for spread reasons, I think I'm probably just going to stay away from this game. The total has ticked down a ton, and that would be also kind of a direction I would look at. But I'm interested to hear what you have to say on this game, too, because the defense for the Rockets alone is probably making me lay off the under here, regardless of the line movement. That's kind of where I'm thinking of on this game. What do you have to say about Lakers-Rockets?
This game, I looked at this game, I looked at the spread, and I thought to myself, am I going to max bet the Lakers? Is that happening? Am I going to do that?
We're doing this?
Yeah, so I've been talking. This is still a running conversation going on my phone right now. All my friends. I have a group chat, and it's called the basketball group chat. But it's a bunch of dudes I went to high school with, or just knew from that era or whatever. And they're just talking about Russell Westbrook, because a bunch of them are goofy and are Lakers fans. So this is on the forefront of their mind, and the conversation back and forth is just kind of like, when you hear Westbrook make the comments that he's making, it's just kind of like, what is his level of self-awareness? Now, I personally don't think he's the reason that they're bad, but he's a key contributor for no other reason that he's supposed to be a reason that they're good. So even if you're like the biggest Russell Westbrook fan in the world and you want to say, it's unfair to say he's the reason they're bad, I could almost buy that. But I would counter that with, okay, but he's also definitely not, he's definitely holding them back from being good, because the Christmas Day game, I don't know if you saw it, Jordan, that's one of those cases where sometimes when you watch a player play, you're like, this guy's in his own head. It's not a skill problem. It's a psychological problem. He's an LA guy, and he grew up a Lakers fan. Now he gets a chance to play there, but he's on the downslope of his career, right? He hit his peak during the triple-double years. The dirty secret about Russell Westbrook, and I've been saying this on this show for years, Google Russell Westbrook surgeries. My guy has had several surgeries on his knees. He's had a lot of injuries. They've never been major injuries. They're always nagging injuries. But because he's such a warrior and because he always plays through that shit, the wear and tear is crazy. His elevation is not there anymore. Not to say he can't dunk, but he's not dunking on people. He's not blowing by people. He's not a physical specimen anymore. Guys, because I know there's a lot of, if you check my Twitter feed last year, bro, do you remember there was a point where I said John Morant is already better than Russell Westbrook? And I said that after John Morant had played 25 games. And people on my Twitter feed were going off they're like, this guy has a basketball show. This guy's a fucking idiot. People were insulting me in ways that I was like, how could you be this much of a fan of Russell Westbrook that you can't see what's happening? You know what I'm saying? I was like, guys, obviously I'm being sarcastic when I say John Morant's almost better. But what I did end up saying was John Morant is going to be what Russell Westbrook was supposed to be. And now our guy Jordan just finished saying John Morant belongs in the MVP discussion, not even 2 years on. And Russell Westbrook is basically bro, if you watch them shows, I don't watch any of these shows personally because I feel like these talking heads say things just for clickbait and just for views, not because they really believe it.
Of course, yeah, that's why they're there, yeah.
Yeah, but bro, I was watching Skip and Shannon talking about Westbrook.
I'm sorry.
Holy shit, bro! They were basically they were like, he's a turnover machine with a low basketball IQ, and then what's his name, loudmouth Stephen A. and whoever else he was with, double team. I mean, he's just getting shit on from every angle. And guys, don't worry, I'm not going to keep blabbing on. I have a point here. I think that this is kind of a buy low spot for the Lakers. -4.5 against this Rockets team, when everyone's kicking dirt on your name and basically saying you guys are a joke and this and that. Do we not think that the Lakers have some kind of pride? Do we not think that the Lakers, who are actually a very good defensive team, can't come out and put the clamps on this Rockets team? I think I'm going to bet the Lakers. I don't have it as an official play, guys, but I think I'm going to bet a large chunk of change on the Lakers as one of those. Either I hit the play wins and I hit it, or it's a warning that, okay, until further notice, I can't even come close to investing on this team. So I'm fine with losing a big bet on the Lakers tonight because I think, again, it's a buy low spot for a team that you got anybody, the media, bettors, whoever, you want to shit on them, that's fine because they deserve to be shit on because they're the Lakers and their expectations are always way up here. But the reality is, if you're a team that can lean on defense, the offense can turn itself around at any time. Russell Westbrook can come out and score 30 points in any given moment. But, guys, and this is why I stress watching games. Jordan, I swear to God, I'll stop talking in a second.
You're going to roll. Keep going, please.
Yeah, this is why I stress watching games, bro. Watch Russell Westbrook chase defensive rebounds instead of sticking to his man. He'll see someone about to take a shot, and he's like, yo, fuck my man. I'm going to get that rebound. And then a lot of times this man either gets an offensive rebound or a shot doesn't happen. It gets swung to his man and he's out of position. He's out of position so much because he's chasing stats. The Russell Westbrook chasing stats thing is real. And once he stops doing that and just does the things that are necessary for this group of players that he's playing with to win, the Lakers will get over the hump. But if he doesn't, they kind of got to trade him because he's too old to be playing this type of low IQ basketball at his age. So I say all of that to say really, really, really heavy lean on the Lakers at -4, -5. Anything past like 5.5.
I'm there with you. I will say this about Russell Westbrook. He does get a lot of the scapegoating for why the Lakers are bad right now. Don't get me wrong. He's a pretty big reason why that is. He is definitely not the only reason why they're bad. And I think that like you said, if he gets traded and it's for, 50 cents on the dollar because that's what his contract's going to – I mean, that may be generous, to be honest. They're not going to get any better. I mean, like there's nobody that – and there's no player on any of the other 29 teams that is going to get traded to the Lakers that's going to make them better if Russell Westbrook is on the other side because of his contract situation and just because of the way he's been playing. You're exactly right. I do think you're very right. Something's going on in his head because I think the trade rumors have hurt him more than people are letting on and more than he's letting on for sure. Just because you're right, he's an LA kid, and I mean this is in his dream, and it's not been working out. And now there's trade rumors and GM LeBron maybe breathing down your neck, and also furthermore, the dude's 33. I mean, like it's a cliche. Father time's undefeated, though, and that's the story of Russell Westbrook here at the end of the day. You're right. I mean, he's had that meniscus tear. I think he's had it twice as well, and that was several years ago, man. Like you get to this point in your career, you've got a lot of miles on your tires. It's not pretty. We got to move on, man. We got tons of other stuff to talk about today. Let's get to the next game. I do have a play on this game. It's the Washington Wizards heading into Miami to play the Heat. Bradley Beal questionable tonight. Doesn't really matter for me because the only guys I care about have already been ruled out. Bam Adebayo's obviously been out for a while. And, of course, we also have, what's his name, my guy, Dedmon out for the Heat as well. And that means young Omer Yurtseven is going to go absolutely nuts tonight. And I just saw that they raised this lineup tremendously, so I think I got on the right side of this. It must have been a fat finger for the books this morning. For whatever reason, they put him way too low in points, rebounds, and assists. That his points at only 9 or 10, and his rebounds under 10, and his points, rebounds, assists I think his points and rebounds at 21. Now it's up to like 24, 25. They obviously got smoked by some people this morning, hopefully me included. So that's my official on this one. I will say that it still has value because I think he plays a ton of minutes tonight, and he's been proving that he's a very, very good per-minute player for them. And they're going to need him to play 34, 35 minutes tonight because they have literally no one else that they can throw at this front court. Oh, and by the way, Montrezl Harrell just went into protocols. That was another one of the reasons I saw this, and I just could not resist tonight. So still has some value, not as much as when I bet it. What do you think about this game, and do you like my pick for tonight here on Omer?
I do. My official pick is Heat -6. It's a lot. It's a lot, but the Wizards are not a good basketball team right now. And the Wizards, did you hear this report that Bradley Beal might play tonight?
I did not know, but I mean, it doesn't really matter even if he does.
Just thank you for saying that.
Their defense has just been atrocious. Like that was the other thing I was going to say. I mean, this is a great matchup for everybody on the Miami. Down low especially is why I got my prop pick. But yeah, it really doesn't matter because their defense has just fallen off a literal cliff since the first 10, 12 games of the season. It's just been awful.
So the first 10, 12 games of the season, they were looking like one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, straight up. Like that was a thing. That's why they started off so hot. And on this show, I was like, yo, this ain't the same old Wizards. This and that, et cetera, et cetera. Now, what I said about the Lakers applies here. When your foundation is defense, you can actually look much better than you are. You can exceed expectations. You always know that, okay, you're coming into the game with the one thing that you can control, and that's your effort, right, and your organization. So the Wizards kind of had that to lean on, and their offense was clicking. Once their offense stopped clicking, it's like their defense went with it. And Bradley Beal coming back into the lineup for this specific game, I just think that, as with a lot of guys that you've seen out with health and safety protocols, which, by the way, I came to realize a while ago, just because you're in health and safety protocols doesn't mean you actually have COVID. It just means that you broke health and safety protocols, and to be safe, they are putting you in there until you test negative.
Or you're exposed to somebody who tested
positive. Or you exposed to somebody who tested positive. So it's not even exact, but I'm just saying, for the guys that come back from that, especially the ones who were sick with COVID, conditioning is a problem. Even Jimmy Butler, the other day, he came back, he played against Orlando. You could tell that his conditioning was a bit off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad he got that game under his belt. I think a volume shooter like Bradley Beal could disrupt the lineup a little bit, because the Wizards did have something clicking, for a little bit, for a short stretch. But their defense is just really bad. The Heat had their two leading scorers back, with Butler back in the frame, and Hero balling out. So I think at home against this poor defense from the Wizards, I think Miami actually wins by double digits here. So that's my official play. I have two officials for the day. That's one of them. Heat lay the points.
I was definitely looking at the Heat today. I was kind of thinking about the first half side of things, just because that's kind of like where I tend to see most of the value in that one. But yeah, I agree with you. This could be a very big smack spot for them. But I think I kind of like the props a little bit better, just all the health and safety protocols. Speaking of health and safety protocols, what I'm looking up on my phone as we are doing this right now, I'm going to kick it over to Junior because I know he has a play on this next game here with the Cavaliers heading into New Orleans. We already know that Brandon Ingram is doubtful tonight, not due to health and safety protocols, but he is not going to play. We know Jonas Valanciunas is going to play. He is probable. Evan Mobley out of health and safety protocols. Don't quite know if he's going to play just yet, but hoping he does, because I know it's going to help Junior's pick. And also, this is going to help, just fresh off the wire, Darius Garland entered in health and safety protocols. JB, what do you got for the people? Tell them to run, not walk, when you tell them your pick, by the way.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to keep it short just because I went off in that first game, and Jordan just went over a lot of the things I was going to say anyway. With all the players that Jordan just named that are probably not going to play, where are the points coming from? Especially against a Cavaliers team that's one of the best defensive teams in the league. They putting the clamps on people. If Evan Mobley is playing, the clamps are officially back. All they're missing is Jared Allen, but this team's defense is for real. Just to prove that point, with those guys out, who are their best defenders, the Pelicanos for the last 2 weeks have been the 6th best defensive team in the NBA in net rating, in terms of defensive efficiency. Anyway, they're number 6 in the league, which is why they found a little bit of success. Well, while looking at that information, I looked and it's like, oh shit, well, the Cavaliers are number 1 in the league in defensive rating during that span with all the guys that they've had missing. So the Cavaliers' defense is not an anomaly. It's not a fluke. Even when their best defensive players are out, they're still putting the clamps on teams, which means it's a team thing, aided by the fact that they have several guys who think defense first. So this is not a trend. This is what it is. And I think that they're going to put the clamps on the Pelicanos without some of their best offensive players. Give me the under 213. Run, don't walk, because that shit about to drop.
Yeah. With Garland out, it's going to be a very, very, very steep drop. I was looking at it on my phone as we were talking, and there were several books taking it off the board as we speak. So yeah. I completely endorse that pick now with all these new basically I was looking at this earlier and I was like Pelicans team total under without Ingram is great. He's I think they're 4.5, 5 points worse per 100 possessions with him off the court. And now with the news that Mobley got back, I went ahead and bet the under 104 for the Pelicans team total now. And without Garland, that full game under looking really nice as well. Also, I think Josh Hart questionable too with non-COVID issue. I think he's got a knee or ankle sprain of some kind. Not sure what his status is tonight. Also, he's been playing very well offensively for this team. So absolutely endorsing that pick. We got only 5 minutes left. We got 2 games to get through. Let's go down to the Knicks and the Timberwolves here. This is one where I have, the bets, like I almost like get more mad at bets that I don't take that win than the ones that I do take and lose, Junior. And I know you know that feeling because like when you're sitting there in hindsight, obviously it's always 20/20, but I sat there yesterday morning and saw that Jason Tatum entered health and safety protocols. And I know everybody for the Wolves was out. But I still thought about that, taking those points and sprinkling the money line. I wish I would have because they won yesterday. But now they are faced with a back-to-back. But lo and behold, now all of their guys are seemingly out of health and safety protocols. I have no idea what is going on with the Minnesota Timberwolves here in this game. We've talked about this now with this stretch of the NBA with all these players in and out. And now with the shorter isolation periods, that guys are just going to be popping in and out of health and safety protocols like popcorn, basically. It's just going to be left and right. Just literally have to be glued to Twitter at this point. This one was one where it was reported earlier, and I was like, what is happening? And then now it says that they're all out of health and safety protocols, but don't know if they're going to play tonight. There's just a ton of what-ifs going on in this game. So for me, I'm just going to watch the news and try to live bet this game because the Knicks suck. We obviously know the Knicks are not good. The Knicks are still dealing with a lot of issues as well. Whereas the Wolves, if they got all their guys back tonight, it's Smack City tonight, in my opinion. I mean, I can't – speaking of run, not walk to bet the Timberwolves here, but I got to know who's playing – and I can't do that right now, even with them as 4.5-point underdogs of where they sit right now. Like, I got to know who's in and who's out because it could be a little smoke and mirror situation. So do you have a pick on this game? Do you have any information? Do you have any advice for what we should do with this game with the Wolves side of things?
I still got a lot of homework to do, to be honest. I just had a really busy morning, but I'm this close to money line parlay. Sprinkle on that. No, I'm thinking. So I'm cooking up a money line parlay that's Knicks Warriors plays like plus 105. I don't love that return, so I'm a little hesitant to pull the trigger. I think that even if the Wolves get a lot of those guys back, they ain't going to be in basketball shape. They're going to be out of shape. And by the way, those guys are so up and down, even when they're right, that this is a situation where hopefully the market overreacts to those guys coming back if they do. And if they don't, I'm going to have to roll with the Knicks. The Knicks, if anything, have not been bit as hard as other teams by health and safety protocols and gotten a little something going. I'm not sure what it is, but it's something. It's something more than we had seen in the previous week. So I think there's actually pretty good value on the Knicks here. I'd like that line to move down a little bit more in my favor. So I'm going to wait and see what it is. But if you took that money line parlay right now, which I have not, so I'm not telling anybody else to do it, but those, because people always ask me, yo, hit me with the money line parlay. Can't force that. You can't force those. That's why they hit. That's why I hit them so much, because I don't force them. I look for opportunities, and I think I see one. but I just need to have more information about what's going on with who's playing. But if you do like the Knicks and you do like the Warriors, a parlay pays anywhere from like plus 105 to plus 110, depending on the book that you take it at.
Let's get to those Warriors real quick before we run out of time here, because Denver on the road in Golden State here as 7.5-point underdogs, and with the I've watched a couple of Nuggets games here over the last few weeks. I don't necessarily get to watch them a ton, especially when they're further out on the West Coast than they already are. But man, their defense is just like almost more so than the Wizards, because with the Wizards, you're kind of not like as surprised that their defense is not playing like it was at the beginning of the year, right? But for the Nuggets, a team that prides itself on defense, maybe not so much on the road, obviously, because they've had some issues with that in the past. That's been an ongoing problem for this Nuggets team in the Jokic kind of Mike Malone era, where their home court advantage is just very much evident when they go out on the road and their defense suffers like it does. But here against the Warriors now with Jordan Poole, who I don't know if he's going to play tonight. I know he cleared protocol. And Wiggins, I think, is going to play after clearing protocol tonight. So you got the Warriors getting healthier here in this one. It's absolutely Warriors or nothing for me here, too. I'm almost a little surprised this line isn't closer to 8 or 9, and it's heading that direction. So it seems like people are kind of agreeing with me here, too. But the one thing I would probably look at first is the over. Just with Denver's defense being so bad and with Golden State getting their guys back, anything under 219, 220 is kind of looking like a value, and I believe it is still sitting there kind of like 217 right now. It's gone up a point. So, yeah, that'd be the direction I would look at. Haven't locked anything in yet, just the lean for me. Obviously, with your money line parlay that you're cooking up here potentially, you're on. You think the Warriors are going to win this game here. So, what do you think about the spread? Do you think the number's pretty sharp right now? Do you think I should just stay away? What do you think about this game here, real quick?
Yeah, this number's pretty sharp. My problem with Denver is they have no kind of rhythm, continuity, and the fact that they've only won consecutive games once in the last 6 weeks says it all. You flip that and you look at the Warriors, and they've been as consistent. I mean, they've been the most consistent team in the league because of the one thing that you said, their defense. Their defense is elite. I think the under's worth a look here. To be honest, if you're asking me to just make a straight up play, I wouldn't take the side. I would take the total. I think 217.5 is kind of a lot. Denver's games, they're kind of hard to watch for me, to be honest with you, because they're played at like a snail's pace. When I saw that they were ranked 22nd in the league in pace, I was like, how could they be ranked so high? It always looks like they're walking the ball up the court. But obviously their offense is predicated on Jokic getting touches, so that just makes it look slower than other offenses, I suppose. But I just feel like what Denver does well right now without their best pieces, I don't want to use the words it's easy for Golden State to stop, because that's not true. But it's not going to be as difficult as it would be without the talents of look, you still need people that can put the ball in the basket. And right now, who on the Denver Nuggets can you say consistently does that other than one guy? A guy who, where is that bodies to throw at, if we're just going to be honest? Draymond Green can't stop Jokic, but he could get on his goddamn nerves.
Make his life real miserable.
He can make his life real difficult. You really can. Again, you're talking about a guy in Jokic who the other day when they beat the Clippers, had 26 points and like 22 rebounds. Like he's a monster. So it's not like Draymond's going to shut him down. But if you can make him work, if you can frustrate him, you've seen that you can get under his skin. That's a thing. Like, right? That's very possible to do. And I think that Draymond has the basketball IQ and just the defensive skill to make Jokic's life a little bit more difficult, which should disrupt their team. And lead to a lower scoring game. Now, can the Denver Nuggets stop the Warriors from scoring? I don't really all the way know about that. But my lean in this game is to the under, but no official play.
Sorry,
Hey, Jordan, I think you're muted.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was just looking to see if Draymond Green's in health and safety protocols because I don't see anything on there, but for whatever reason, this injury report has him on there, so I need to double check.
Oh shit! Sorry guys that are watching, I didn't see that.
I didn't either until just now. I was just because you said something and I had forgotten, and I was looking to see who else is out for the Nuggets, and then I noticed that too. So yeah, but either way, no, I mean like what you said is still true of Kevon Looney. If Kevon Looney still does one thing, it's defense. Like I mean that's what he's out there for. They've been holding pretty firm down low, I think, regardless of if Dre plays or not. But you're right, he is kind of that. He's the captain of the defense. He's the anchor of that defense. He's the guy. He's one of the biggest reasons why they are so good on defense. But yeah, I think there's still a lot of value with him tonight here, I think, as well, regardless of what his status is. We got to figure what that is out here, too, real quick. But it's pouring down rain on my head. We got to get out of here. We are out of time, so we're going to run over to the officials real quick. I'll go first. I just got one. Today, Omer Yurtseven over 21.5 points and rebounds. I think I put assists up there, but that's a misprint. Should just be points and rebounds. That number's at 23.5 now. I still like it. Don't love it at that price, but it has gone up a little bit since I bet it here. Also, I am absolutely tailing Junior on that under here, so I'll let you go ahead on your two, JB.
Yeah, my Heat pick -6, guys. Don't get me wrong; it's a lot of points. I don't take that lightly at all. I'm just fading the Wizards. The Wizards don't look good right now, and I think if Bradley Beal comes back tonight. They're actually going to look worse. Not to say he makes them worse, but an out-of-shape Bradley Beal who's going to jack up a lot of shots will probably make them play worse than they already are, which shouldn't be hard because they're not playing very good. And the Cavaliers and Pelicanos, the Pelicanos have actually been bringing the defense, like I mentioned, in the last 2 weeks. They are 6th in defensive efficiency, which is why they've been able to pick up a couple wins. We already know what the Cavaliers do. Their MO is putting the clamps on everybody. So under 213, especially with the news that Ingram won't be around, run, don't walk to the window because that won't be available for too much longer, especially like Jordan said with the news that Darius Garland is not available.
Yeah, if we get Mobley playing in that game too, that's going to be the icing on the cake as well. I think they're 8 points better defensively with him on the court this season. I know small sample size, he's obviously just a rookie too, but still he's been when he's on the court and you watch him play and how well he stays in front of basically anybody that he is in front of. That enough is evidence of that their defense is good with him. So that'll do it for us. We got to get out of here. It's been the Bookmakers Review NBA show. That of course is Junior Browne. I am Jordan Sharp. Before you leave, of course, like this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's a big help as well. And, of course, visit Bookmakers Review for all the best handicapping content on the net. Until tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, I'm Jordan Sharp. That's JB. We'll see you tomorrow.